Mapp versus Ohio is a civil law case where the government was seen breaking the Fourth Amendment. But what is the Fourth Amendment? Well, for a reminder, the Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures, but it doesn't guarantee protection from all searches and seizures. There are a few times when the Fourth Amendment doesn't work, like when a police officer sees immediate danger, like weapons, illegal narcotics, etc. There are multiple reasons why the Fourth Amendment is in place. This is a fundamental right that prevents arbitrary intrusions into people's lives by authority. Courts determine if a search is reasonable based on whether a person has a reasonable expectation of privacy in the area being searched.
Now that that's out of the way, this case took place in 1957 when the police had gotten a tip that Mapp was potentially harboring someone that was wanted for questioning due to a connection to a recent bombing at the home of Don King, who was running an illegal gambling operation. They demanded entrance to Mapp's home, but after telephoning her attorney, she refused to let them in because they didn't have a warrant. After 3 hours later, the police showed up to Mapp's home again, only this time with 4 or more additional police officers. Though, when Mapp didn't open her door right away, they forcibly opened one of her several doors and gained entrance. Mapp demanded a search warrant, but this time they were holding up a piece of paper only claiming it was a search warrant. Mapp then took the warrant and placed it on her bosom, which ensued a struggle for the police officers to recover the paper. But this only led to her in handcuffs, as the police stated that she had been belligerent in resisting the official rescue of the warrant. As a result of the search, they found no evidence of a bomber, but a trunk in her basement containing obscene materials such as sketches of nude figures, books suggesting lewd content, and lascivious photographs, which Mapp denied owning. They later brought her to court, and Mapp was charged with violating an Ohio law against the possession of obscene materials, which is a felony in the state. She was convicted in an Ohio court, but argued that her Fourth Amendment right and her right to privacy in her home had been violated by the search, and they eventually took her appeal to the United States Supreme Court.
Although you could argue the police had reasonable suspicions of harboring a bomber, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a 5-3 vote in favor of Mapp. The court said the evidence was unlawful, seized without a search warrant, which means it could not be used in criminal prosecutions in state courts. Thus, Mapp's conviction was voided. But then a few years later, she was convicted again, but this time for the possession of narcotics. After her prison sentence has ended, she began working for a nonprofit that provided legal assistance to inmates. Mapp later died at the age of 91 on October 31st, 2014. Around the same time, she was showing signs of dementia, but this case was very important and strengthened the protection afforded to individuals under the Fourth Amendment.